People are upset at what they are referring to as an unbelievably racist video game that features the slave trade. The game is referred to as History to Slave Trade, and according to descriptions of the game, users can play as characters in the trade of slaves from Africa to the colonial West. Now, we have the demo video for you guys, so you can take a quick look at what it appears to be, what it's supposed to be, and then you can make a judgment for yourself. Take a look.
Blotherbloom wants to go back to get new slaves. Tim tags along on the journey.
Stop walking around like a headless horse crab. You, Tim, are a moronic monkfish. Now, go out there in the rain and help stop.
Tim isn't in the worst spot he could be for a slave at the time.
Do you remember nothing, you useless?
Although the captain can be quite demanding.
I told you to get us a good price, and you don't even have an offer I can turn down. Now, go get me an offer. Pirates and punctures, what's going on here? It's like you're not even trying, you lazy little son of a jungle jingle. My trust in you is falling.
But the stakes are raised when Tim sees his sister caged on the beach. The two of them decide to work together to free the slaves. Join Tim and his sister Piri on an adventure like no other. Experience the time of the transatlantic slave trade in this journey through history.
So to give you some more information on it, in the game, players decide how to best stack black bodies in the hold of a slave ship. Users can also play the game from the perspective of a black slave boy who serves the slave ship's captain. So this game is not new. It actually came out in 2013, but it didn't really get any attention until now, and people are understandably upset about it because it trivializes a really terrible time in America. But others are making the argument that this could actually be a good thing because it educates people about the realities of slavery in America. I don't know if I agree with the latter argument, but I do want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Certainly runs the risk of desensitizing people towards the horrors of it, I think, to make it into a game like that, and they have their eye. They're all like, well, it's like, that's unsettling.
Yeah.
It was unsettling to see that to me, like, oh, how could, I understand that people who do video games and stuff, like, they're not in touch with, regular society, what have you, and they're in their own little bubble, whatever.
You just opened up Pandora's box. Okay, we're about to get some serious.
And,
they're disconnected from reality?
A regular society. But anyway, you know what I mean? They're not normal people. But the thing is, like, how could you make that and consider yourself, I think that's all right.
Well, I didn't make it.
Oh, you didn't make that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well then.
Here, so you said that some people are saying that this could have that effect. I don't think, from what I've seen, I don't think that game will have that effect. I do think you could make a game that would have the effect of opening people's eyes to the horror of it. I think, because I have a different experience with video games than you, I have played games that have been specifically designed to get across sort of a political experience. Like I played a game called Papers, Please, which was supposed to make you understand sort of the surveillance culture of living on the other side of the Iron Curtain, and what the surveillance culture is like, and how you have to worry constantly about the government and how you care for your family. The whole point is to make you feel the tension and anxiety of that. That's the whole purpose of the game. So you could have that. And you could show the reality of the slave trade. We were talking in the meeting about how the decks that slaves were kept on are just 18 inches high. So you literally lay on your back and that's all the space you have. You could have a person experience that in a game, but not with Tetris and spinning people around and big cartoon eyeballs and calling people funny names and stuff. That game is probably not going to get that across.
And then there was a thing, I pitied the fool who said they're doing like Mr. T kind of thing. They're really making light of the whole...
Now, let's be really clear, though. This is some, I guess, online indie game that a group of 2 to 10 people made. This is not a AAA game that was made by a company with hundreds of people and tens of millions of dollars. This is not, you can't take this and Halo and say, well, these are the games people are making. Anyone can I've made games.
So I retract what I said then.
Thank you.
I retract it, because I thought it was a company and everyone thought it was okay.
No, it's not like this is EA's like fall release or something.
Oh, okay, I retract.
Yeah, I think this game represents the insensitivity of some people in society, right? I mean, I don't know what the intentions were of the people who created this game, but this is not how you raise awareness or educate young people about what happened with slavery in the country. It trivializes it. And remember, this is something that's geared toward 8 to 14-year-olds. And this is not the right way you teach them about this country's history.
Imagine if you're a black kid and it was bad enough a white kid coming across that, but a black, well, how would that make you feel?
I mean,
I don't know.
Terrible. So
yeah, it's terrible, I would guess.
So I think they deserve the backlash, and the game still exists. So anyone who wants to play it, unfortunately, can still play it. But they deserve this criticism. I mean, this is a serious issue that you should educate young people about. You shouldn't trivialize it the way that you have through this game.
You know, I'm so used to being the guy who, being the turd in the punch bowl, as they say. You know, which I think is necessary for life. But gee, I'm being, the whole punch bowl seems like a turd. You know, it's like, what, how, I'm a comedian, I'm supposed to be the outrageous one. I keep commenting on these stories that people are fucking way crazier than I could ever be. Yeah. It's like the stuff they're saying, the Kim Kardashian, the thing that we're doing to this video game, that is beyond the pale.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that these are all related issues. It's that people want to be recognized, and they have grown up hearing that any press is good press. And so if you want your tweet to be seen, you make it as horrible as possible. If you want your game to be seen, you make it as extreme as possible. If you want to become the next Republican, presidential candidate, you say the craziest shit possible. Like that, and you get advantage. Like people will retweet you and favorite you and heart your shit if you do that stuff.
Yeah.
Because everybody is so obsessed with becoming famous in their own specifically horrible way.
I think there is a coarsening to the society. I really do. I think it started same time when the drug war started. I think that, I had a friend, I forget his name, he says, whatever we do to people overseas, we're going to eventually do to ourselves. And we're doing it. So we go over there, we torture people over there, we don't prosecute, we torture our own soldiers now. We over-police our own, look at the story we did about stop and frisk, We've now turned into behind the Iron Curtain, papers, please, in the United States. We're papers, please, in the United States. Yeah. We've got a political party saying we want to de-citizenize people who are citizens already. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a coarsening to the society that's happening. We're becoming more right-wing, capitalism does not mean democracy, right? China's proving that, right? So it is definitely happening. I've tried to call out that there's fascist tendencies happening. If you look at the 14 points, there's a famous sociologist who did the 14 hallmarks of a fascist society. And if you look at it, it's like, oh, God damn it, the GOP presidential candidates are fulfilling every single one of them. And they're the major political party. And by the way, they're more favored by the media, right? So that the media is favoring fascists. But again, they won't call fascism fascism. They won't even call what Trump said racism. So it's a general coarsening of the society. I think Bernie Sanders could turn it around.
Yeah. I feel like we're more divided than ever.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of hatred out there. There are people out there who bask in, or they're just boastful about their own hatred toward other groups of people. Like they love it. They make careers out of it.